Motherhood is not for wimps. Jennifer Lawrence stars in the latest from Lynne Ramsay. And if you were thinking that if I had legs, I'd kick you made being a mom look too easy, this is the movie for you.
Yeah, and if you thought that Darren Aronofsky put Jennifer Lawrence through the ringer in Mother...
Yeah.
Lynne Ramsay has some new and exciting ideas for her and for all of us. Yeah, this is one of the art house Tuesdays here at Breakfast All Day between Dime My Love. We're talking about sentimental value today as well. So come hang out. If these are your kind of movies, these are our kind of movies. This is our time of year with all of the awardsy stuff coming out. So come and hang out with us.
I'm stuck between wanting to do something and not wanting to do anything at all.
So Jennifer Lawrence and Robert Pattinson are a young couple named Grace and Jackson. At the film's start, they are moving into a house that belonged to Robert Pattinson's uncle, who has died. And we see just from this one shot, Lynne Ramsay holds on this one shot, it's in the kitchen, but you can see like the dining room and then the living room and then the front porch, you know, all in the background.
The shotgun shack, as they say.
Yeah, this place has seen better days. You know, I think the production design, the way this is shot and just the way this house is depicted is one of the great strengths of this film. You get a real sense of place and a real sense of the history of this place. So they are excited to start a life here, and they do, and she gets pregnant. And from the very beginning, there's this kind of like animalistic energy between them. Like they are young and in love, and they just want to do it all the time, and they are all over each other. And you have, you know, incredibly compelling screen presences in Robert Pattinson and Jennifer Lawrence. You know, the camera loves them both, and they have a lot of chemistry with each other for a while. She has a baby, and then things change, as things often do for moms. And I don't think anybody ever says the words postpartum in this film.
No.
Or
no one really knows. That matter.
Yeah, no one really knows how to help her, and she does not know how to ask for help. And the film is really about her inner journey and the increasing confusion of that. This is a screenplay that jumps around in time a lot in ways that are intentionally disorienting to put us in her mindset. And I think it does it to the film's detriment, because I feel like if there had been a more traditional linear narrative, we could see the increasing deterioration, and that would build tension within the marriage, within her own mental state, within, you know, the way that this baby is being cared for or not. Sissy Spacek is Robert Pattinson's mother. Thank God she's here, because she brings this very warm and grounding sense to the film that it needs, because it gets intense. I mean, Jennifer Lawrence is going for it. It is brave and intense work here, and she is bearing herself in a multitude of ways. It's an incredible physical performance. It's giving like Jenna Rollins, you know, Cassavetes breakdown.
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
a fair
70s.
Comparison.
Very much so.
The word feral would not be out of place here in talking about this performance.
Yeah. And that's, you know, there's an animalistic quality to the way these two characters regard each other. So it's about the collapse of her mental state and also the collapse of her marriage. I really like the work here. I do like the performances, and I love the way it's shot. Seamus McGarvey is a cinematographer here. He is Joe Wright's frequent cinematographer. He shot it on 35 millimeter film. And so there's a really lush quality to the color, to the textures of this place, you know, the wallpaper in the bathroom or the wood that's deteriorating on the outside of the house. You know, we talk about how Luca Guadagnino makes multi-sensory films.
Yes.
You can feel the heat. They don't ever name it. I think it's Montana. You can feel the heat. You can hear the critters, you know, in the trees, and it all adds to her heightened mania confusion. But this just felt really overwhelming to me. And again, that's the intent, but it felt overwhelming in a way that also felt kind of superficial.
I don't know that I entirely agree with you. I think that the disorienting thing is definitely a bug and not a feature. And I think that it does what it sets out to do, and that it really kind of keeps you on edge in a way that a sort of more linear narrative of like, here's how they start out happy, but then things go awry, I think would have been less satisfying. That said, like Lynne Ramsay is, not for all tastes. And I don't even necessarily think that her current stuff is as, engrossing as early films like Ratcatcher or Morven Caller. I did not love, what was the Joaquin Phoenix one she did?
I want to call it You Were Never Really Here.
You Were Never Really, yes, that one, which is good. And I see why people like it, but I don't think it's of her best work. And this is, I think, better than that one, but still maybe not as great as her early stuff. But yeah, Jennifer Lawrence is absolutely going for it. This movie reminded me a lot of, and this is maybe the most art house Tuesday sentence I'm ever going to utter. It reminds me of a Mexican film I saw at the Carlo Vivari Film Festival that never really got a U.S. release, so you wouldn't have heard of it. But no, it was a film called The Pleasure Is Mine, and it's about this couple who move out to the country to this sort of ramshackle house, and they get there with great ideas about like fixing up the house and creating art and having tons and tons of sex because they like can't keep their hands off each other. But slowly but surely, the distance from the city, from the people in their lives, their growing irritation with each other and dissatisfaction with this big, swing that they've taken by moving away from everybody and going out there starts to take its toll. And one of the things that's cool about that movie is that the sex scenes become like what people say that musical numbers ideally do in a musical, which is they convey a lot about the character and they tell you a lot about the relationship. Like you could take pages and pages of dialogue, but just have it in this one, in the way that people come together or don't come together. And it tells you everything you need to know. And I think you're getting a lot of that with Lawrence and Pattinson in terms of how they're drawn together and how they rip apart. Yes, I think Sissy Spacek does provide some moments of calm. There's a couple of cool scenes with Nick Nolte involved as well. The woman playing Sissy Spacek's sister, I believe, is Gabrielle Rose, who is a Hallmark favorite of mine. So like there's a really cool, there's a cool ensemble, and I love the sense of place. So the way that house exists and the way that you can see what it's doing to them and how all of these factors are coming together. It's not 100% successful, but I think it mostly sets out to do what it wants to do. And I really admire what Jennifer Lawrence is just like absolutely fearless here.
Yeah, but it goes to such extremes. And every woman's experience is totally different as a mother. But I did not recognize anything like it's so heightened physically as far as the places she goes. I mean, I guess they indicate in, their flashbacks, maybe, that there was some instability there prior to her becoming a mother.
Right.
I think you get the idea that this is somebody who is exciting for the Jackson character, but the qualities that make her exciting also make her really scary. Eventually. Capricious. Yeah, I mean, she's a lot. I mean, there are high highs and low lows, and but I feel like some of the things that she does physically are so extreme that they almost take you out of it. And yet, there's this constant undercutting of what is real and what is not. Like, you're constantly thinking with her actions, with the places she goes, with the people she talks to. Are they real? Is what she's doing real? And that kind of cheapens what is meant to be really hard hitting in terms of the emotional imbalance she's encountering postpartum.
I guess, but I think of that as part of the imbalance. The fact that we're not sure what we don't know, that she's such an unreliable, she's not a narrator, but she's such an unreliable window into this world and protagonist, exactly, and into this character. So yeah, I don't know, that mostly worked for me. Like I felt like it did what Lynne Ramsay wanted it to do, but I hear what you're saying. This is one of those movies, like there was that great New Yorker piece a few years ago that was called Tennessee Williams with Air Conditioning, where like all the characters were much more relaxed and able to have, calm conversations because, they were climate controlled. And this is a movie where like, I think if there was like a therapist in meds, it would be over in 5 minutes, For
sure. And like the sound design, as is so often the case in Lynne Ramsay films, is also maddening. maddening. Like, we are meant to feel her madness because there's this constant, like, whether it's a motorcycle going by or it's the baby crying or it's the crickets in the trees or whatever it is, there's some kind of cacophony going on that builds and builds. And so that's effective. The craft here is effective in achieving this mood of tension. Yeah. I'm mixed on it. I like so much about it, but I ultimately walked out of it feeling like just overwhelmed. And maybe I guess that's the point. I walked out of it in a fog. And I guess that's the point, is to make you feel like you were in her brain.
This is probably a good one to go with people that you could have a long chat over coffee or cocktails afterwards and, really try to parse what the hell you just saw,
Right. I mean, which we kind of did. You and I had dinner afterward with our friend Lael Lowenstein at the farmer's market. So we got to have a little bit of that conversation.
True.
That was nice. All right. I'm going to say 6.5 because it's so well made.
I'm like an 8.1. It really kind of held me, and yeah, there are things about it I could sort of pick at afterwards, but I would say the experience of watching it was quite overwhelming, and I think that was what Lynne Ramsay was going for. So kudos.